Welcome to the Downtown, brought to you by Arlington. I am Daryl Smith Jr., and across the internet from me and in the state of Louisiana is...
I am Rody John.
On today's show, we talk to our second five-time guest, Geoff Moore, about the upcoming Call of Duty Major 1 happening this weekend at the Esports Stadium, the OpTic Gaming and Envy merger, and so much more.
We also talked to Mo from Vape Cave about their selection, their hookah shop, and then so much more as well.
Lots of cool things happening in the city of Arlington. Rody is in another city doing some cool things.
Yes. As we are recording this, it is Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras Day. Happy Mardi Gras to everybody. I am in Louisiana, in New Orleans, celebrating, and it is fantastic here. Not that he doesn't love the city of Arlington, right, but, you know, you're going straight to the source here for Mardi Gras this year, and I appreciate it. Yeah. Man on the scene. It is like Halloween on steroids, with costumes and craziness, great music everywhere, and more drinking. Good food. Yes, lots of drinking. So, but it's always good, and I always like to come to different cities and see what we can bring to our fair city of Arlington to make it even better in the wonderful American dream city that it is. I say a parade on a random Tuesday, or Monday, or whenever the parades are. Maybe they're all the time. I don't know. I've never been to Mardi Gras. I would say random parades would be the way for Arlington to. I'm just kidding. It takes a lot to do a parade. I know it's a big deal. You can't do them every weekend, or then they're not special. Exactly. We can't just have them everywhere. Otherwise, everybody would have their own Mardi Gras, which is not a terrible thing. But sure, it's a party. The history goes to here, and as I did my research, Mobile, Alabama. So look at that. Apparently, they start in November. So wow, yes, all the way until Fat Tuesday. Well, good for those cities. We also have our own traditions here in the city of Arlington, so don't forget those when you're on your journeys, your travels. Yeah, the West Main Arts Festival is coming up this May. That's right, it is. That's a tradition. Yeah. And we got our own parade, July 4th? Yes, July 4th we have a parade. If there is an opening day. I was going to say, at this point, it's not looking too good. Looks like the regular season a little bit. That's okay. They'll probably figure out the money situation eventually. Everyone likes making money, so they do too. They'll figure it out. Yep. There will be an opening day. We just don't know if it's going to be regular opening day. But another fantastic tradition that is not in Arlington all the time, but this year it is. WrestleMania is coming up. So much going on. You and I, with two of our very good friends, Sergio and Johnny, are going to be very busy for about 4 days. You're going to be especially busy. Yes. I'm going to be busy starting that Thursday and not busy until the next Tuesday. We're going to cram a lot of wrestling into those days. A lot of it some of it in Arlington proper. Mm-hmm. Both big spectacle events and also much smaller events. Yeah, good times. But we will have, look for some fun and fine interviews all about wrestling, I guess, on the next show. So, which will also be 3/16, Steve Austin Appreciation Day. So we're gonna make it all about wrestling. So there's a little teaser for you. Just get ready. I know if you're not ready, well, you didn't know. You better call someone. You better call someone.
I'm here with returning guest, and I believe this is his fifth time on the show, Geoff Moore. Welcome back with Envy Gaming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming back. I mean, we're going to have to do this in person at some point. I mean, I'm just...
Amen.
Five times on the show. We first have to get a picture with you in the jacket. It's a jean jacket. It's got a big 5 on the back. You get to sign it. You don't get to keep it. I'm sorry. But, you know, you get a picture with it. So that's nice.
There we go. I'll take it.
Okay, good. Well, as much as I love talking about the jacket more, there's a lot of news since you've been gone, or since you've been on the show the last time. Let's get right into it. OpTic Gaming and Envy Games has merged. What all went into this, and what does the future of this partnership hold?
Well, Hector Rodriguez, who created OpTic Gaming, and Mike Ruppel, who obviously has Envy, have been longtime friends and rivals in the Call of Duty space and other games for literally over a decade. And they have worked together before in other ventures, so they have been very like-minded competitors and team owners. And so when the kind of escalation of franchises and investors came into the scene, Mike, you know, went with Ken Hirsch and his group, and Hector went with Neil Liebman and his group, and kind of the rivalry kind of went into the Activision Blizzard, you know, Call of Duty League. And so when Neil sold the group to Immortals, then Hector negotiated to get OpTic, the brand OpTic, back from Immortals as they broke up. And so Hector was a free agent. He signed on with NRG and kind of did the same thing by having the team based out of Chicago. That kind of a licensing period and kind of trial run ended, and Hector was looking for a better fit. He was running the group out of Frisco, so he was already in the Metroplex. And I think just Hector and Mike's relationship, their familiarity with each other, their trust with each other, and the fact that we were growing and building a really solid foundation organizationally and in the marketplace made us a good fit. OpTic has a huge audience, and, you know, we wanted to obviously get the benefit of that. And then as a part of our plan is we'll get to Esports Stadium, Arlington's acquisition a second. As a esports organization that does value live events, you know, it made sense for us that we could create value together with Hector and OpTic and their fan base in a way that was a little bit more unique and meaningful than probably most esports organizations could. And so we had that experience, expertise, and direction. And so I think that made it a good match as well.
Right, exactly. I mean, you just kind of touched on it. The other thing, Envy Gaming has acquired the operating contract for Esports Stadium here in Arlington, Texas, for the next 6 years. What more can you tell us about this?
Well, it's really exciting for us. We had played a couple of events at ESA and enjoyed it, but as the pandemic was coming to an end, the current group wanted to transition out. The city of Arlington has had a lot of success in partnering with professional sports franchises and their venues where they both play at the venue, and then because the venue is, you know, being used and is very high quality, then attracting other major events there as well. And so they like the idea of the operator also having programming that can, you know, kind of light up the activity level of the venue to create more value for the city. And so, and obviously the city benefits, the more activity, the more sales tax, the more visitors, the more hotel tax, the more, you know, visitor spending overall. So to be able to have both, like even at when we did the Dallas Fuel Battle for Texas last year at ESA, you know, there was still a lot of out-of-town visitation, you know, for that event. You know, several hundred people flying in from all over the country to attend, you know, just an Overwatch match, a single Overwatch match there. So as we have the Call of Duty League Kickoff Classic exhibition going on this weekend at ESA. And so if there's big Call of Duty fans listening to this and they want to buy a ticket and go out and watch the kind of the preseason exhibition of all the teams being there playing, they can do that. And then, as you know, we announced and put on sale the first major tournament of the year for the Call of Duty League, which will be held the weekend of March 3rd at ESA. And so we're also excited about that.
Right. I mean, you're just teeing it up for me. This is exactly the order of questions. So Call of Duty Major 1, the tournament will again be happening at the Esports Stadium in Arlington on March 3rd through 6th. Tickets are on sale now, and this will be the first Call of Duty tournament featuring all 12 teams in front of a live crowd in, I mean, at least 2 years now, right? Maybe even 3.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
There was we hosted the Call of Duty Major Tournament at ESA last year.
You're right.
We might have thought the pandemic was ending a little earlier than it ended up ending. But we didn't get any feedback that anyone caught COVID at that event. So that was, I'm sure someone did, but ignorance is bliss, I guess, for us.
This is true. Well, but on this occasion, the non-super spreading occasion we're about to have, what more can fans look for at the Major 1 tournament?
Well, it'll be the first time that people can see the OpTic Texas Call of Duty team play live in a competitive setting. And so that is that'll be a big deal for a lot of fans. And so when we, see who's buying tickets to come to that event, right now it's mainly people from outside the state of Texas because, OpTic has a national, dare I say, global, fan base. And so there's a lot of people excited about it, which makes us very happy. And then also there'll be some things that we do at the event that will kind of mark that historic moment in the kind of OpTic journey, which would be fun. And so, I would say that if someone is a CDL fan, they would want to see the first major of the year because it's usually very exciting. And if they're an OpTic fan in Call of Duty, then they'd want to see it because there'll be some special things we do to celebrate the, kind of this new chapter in OpTic's Call of Duty history.
Right. So, like you mentioned, the Dallas Empire name has been retired with the merger, and they are now called OpTic Texas. What other additions to the team can we look forward to?
To the Call of Duty team or for the Envy as an overall organization with teams?
Oh, well, I mean, the Call of Duty League first, and then we can go.
Well, so the franchise slot we had, we sold to Boston. So Boston now has a team. I think they're called the Boston Breakers, I think. Or the Boston Breach, something like that. It's some alliterative, clever name. And so that'll be their inaugural major that they'll play in March. So that'll be interesting to see. And I would say that OpTic has the most famous, popular winningest player in Call of Duty history in Scump. He's on the team, and he's still the kind of experiential and kind of leader of the team. From the Empire, they also pulled over Dashi from the last year's OpTic team. And then we pulled over Shotzi, who, as a rookie 2 years ago, won the playoff MVP. He's just an incredible young player. And then Illy, who was on the Empire for 2 years and a very kind of well decorated and well thought of young player. So we have a kind of a mix of the most veteran person in the league and three young skilled players. So it should be interesting. Two of our former players from our World Championship team are on the New York team, and they'll be very good. Atlanta won the championship last year, and they're very good. And so at the major, I would expect you'd have 4 or 5 teams that are all good enough to win it. And so usually when you get in a LAN environment where all the players are, kind of lined up and playing live, you tend to get a lot of emotion and a lot of verbal interaction between the players, the fans and the players, and the different teams and things like that, which makes it a little spicier and more fun for the audience watching it on the live stream. So I think the players are happy to be back in front of fans. The broadcasters are happy that the games are back in front of fans because that live arena audience really adds value and emotion to the people who are watching it at their individual homes.
Well, I mean, without a doubt, we saw that in traditional sports when you saw the last year with the NBA where they had the closed arenas. Same thing with hockey, just wasn't the same. I mean, even pro wrestling and UFC were having the same issue. But once they got back in front of a live crowd, it was just like old times again, and you could feel the energy just feeding off the athletes. And even that last year with the Dallas Fuel at the ESA was absolutely amazing, and just feeling the energy off of everybody. I can't even imagine what it was like on stage. I know what it felt like in the crowd, but I'm glad that the athletes are actually starting to feel that again.
Yeah, it's 1,000% true, and the kind of sterile nature of the empty arena is oftentimes why teams can't practice at the same level they play at. So there's that sometimes when a player gets into a live action game in any sport and they really show out, and then the coaches are like, well, where was that in practice? They're like, well, you don't have 75,000 people cheering you on in practice, and so it's just not the same, and also if you're playing with the second unit against the first unit, you don't have the same opportunity, and so it's just the results are kind of not always unexpected, but when we had the major last year, when I think Toronto came back and beat Minnesota, it was the biggest upset in the history of the Call of Duty League. They were getting dominated and then just on a dime turned it around and steamrolled the other team. And so the entire crowd, most of whom were OpTic fans, started going for, Toronto, and Minnesota crumbled like a house of cards because they just, the fact that they, the other team figured them out, reversed it, they couldn't counter strategy the change in the way the other team was attacking, and then the fans just, responded to the turnaround in a way that just crushed, the team that was way ahead, and then it was over. Like you could tell it was over when it started, one team was, a point away from winning the game, dominating the game, and then the other team turns it, and you're like, this is going the other way, and there's nothing this team can do to stop it. And it was really fascinating. It was the biggest comeback in the history of the league. And so I think that's the sort of, kind of you can't predict that, right? And so if they're playing remotely, someone could, have a technical issue. They could stop it down, delay it, have a rain delay for, 20 minutes and then, claiming some problem, and then they could start back up and try to reverse it, right? But, when you're live and the league's controlling all the computers and the crowd's right there, it's much harder to try to pull kind of a fast one to kind of calm everyone down and, and do that sort of thing. So the live experience matters.
This is true. Now, OpTic Gaming has also done a great job about signing quite a few Call of Duty Warzone content creators, such as Z-Laner, TP, Bobby Poff, and then I'm going to mess this one up, Sibis Barrett?
Yeah, Sabas.
Okay, Sabas. How important is it to not only have great teams playing for CDL, but also have great content creators under the same umbrella?
Yeah, well, it's very important. So I would say that, streamers and players both work hours and hours a day. Now, the players, who can also be streamers, the players have to practice hours and hours a day to be competitive enough to play in the pro leagues. Some can also then stream and be very popular because of the name they build and the brand they build by competing. But the streamers who may not technically be as good of a player at Call of Duty as the pros are, but they are great at Warzone, which is obviously a different version of the game, requires different skills, and then also, they turn it into an entertainment form, and then they do very well with that. But there's also a big competitive part of that in these tournaments. And so for us, and it again plays into one of the reasons we want to acquire ESA, is that right now all those Warzone tournaments are just happening, online. But that doesn't mean that there cannot be a live version of the tournaments. And because that also would, allow us to eliminate any, foul play that's happening when you're playing all online and 150 person, Warzone battle royale. people that a lot of times will say, well, that doesn't seem like that was fair. That guy might have been using an aimbot or whatever. And so it's hard to police that. But if you have them in a live environment, you can police it. And I also think there's hybrid opportunities to where you could have, star players playing remotely and the rest of the people playing LAN, in the venue. And that would be an interesting new type of live event, kind of a hybrid between a participatory, an online and a spectator event. And so we want to be creative and try to figure out how we can unlock the best combination of getting the biggest audience we can, and then also having our players and our streamers interact with the amateur crowd, whether it's high school tournaments, college tournaments, or open prize pool tournaments that we have at the venue. And so because it's really all part of the same ecosystem, and I remember as a kid playing Little League football in Oklahoma when they would have players come from the University of Oklahoma and speak at our banquet or drop by to practice. It really means a lot, to have that sort of, interaction or attention. And so I think since we have pro players on all these teams and you have these huge, amateur scenes, these different levels, it's in our best interest to try to stimulate that as much as possible.
Right. I mean, you see it so many times with the youth camps that they're, just meeting a pro player of any sort will just reinvigorate that passion that's inside of you to just work harder and try to make it to that level. So yeah, I love that that's happening. Yeah. Now, it was announced back in August that Team Envy was getting into the new Microsoft Halo Championship Series, and then with the merger, it was rebranded as OpTic Halo. They come in second as of recording time in this, and they're going into next week's finals. How's the team looking?
Well, they're great. I mean, they've been very, very good. Obviously, Cloud9 is also very good. And, but I think, it's a testament to the people we have at the top of the organization that we were invited to be into the league, and we're very happy to do so. The Halo League is a bit of a hybrid construction, which, given Microsoft's purchase agreement with Activision Blizzard, might signal how they look at potentially amending the Activision Blizzard leagues that we're currently in, which will be interesting to see how they feel about it. But in Halo, you have the kind of the organizational teams that are pinned at the top, and then you have a large amateur competitive scene that can win their way into these larger tournaments. And so, which I really like. I really like that model. I think it connects the player base to the amateur base to the professional base in a way that is, found in other sports. Certainly in European clubs it is found, but I think it's in a little bit more meaningful way than most traditional sports groups are set up in America. And so in Europe, where they're mainly set up around cities and then clubs in the city, and they have youth, academies all the way up to, top level professional teams. Soccer in America is starting to be set up more that way, like FC Dallas is go more that way. And so I think it's good for us, and then as we can have, popularity in kind of our main games, by adding some of the games that don't have quite as much of a spectator event history, perhaps maybe we can also bring those together at ESA and play them in more of a festival style, and to just try to get people that play Rocket League, in front of our pro team, and Valorant in front of our pro team, and Halo in front of our pro team. But ultimately, what all those people want to do is they want to play the game themselves. And so whether that's for fun or in tournaments, we want to also make that happen.
Right. Now, you mentioned the FC Dallas. I mean, in Arlington, we got the North Texas Soccer Club, and those kids, I think, range from 16 to 19, and they're absolutely amazing. And it's so good to see a lot of those kids go up into the professionals, whether it be here in America, or a lot of them will go over to Europe and absolutely kill it over there. So the fact that you guys are actually doing that here as well is fantastic, because you almost have to kind of create your own farm league so that you can start then having those players come up and be the professionals and then the veterans later for the kids coming up.
Yeah. And there's a couple of reasons for it. One is, of course, the if you can grow some of your own talent, that, is usually a really, really good idea. And obviously baseball has been the leader in that for, many decades. Although they're kind of changing the relationship to minor league baseball, because minor league baseball has suddenly become economically profitable because they have no player costs. And so now major league baseball teams are like, really? We're subsidizing everything and you guys are making more money than we are? Like, that's not, you got to change that. So that's the thing. But there's a couple of reasons why it's good for us besides potentially finding, diamonds in the rough and then, saving money. Like to get Shotzi when he turned 18, he has to be 18 to play in the Call of Duty League. We paid his Halo team quite a bit of money, to get the transfer rights. So it is a lot like soccer. But clearly he's been worth it. And so part of it is, that the more you're engaged at these elite younger levels, you do have exposure, you get, networking opportunities, you get, to be familiar with players. So like when Jimmy Johnson was hired by the Dallas Cowboys as head coach, he'd been coaching the University of Miami for a couple of years then. He was intimately knowledgeable about a lot of the best college prospects and how they might perform as professionals because he had been at the highest level of college football for years. And so there can be that similar thing happen for us for sure. But the other part of it is that, we're trying to stimulate the entire ecosystem of esports to happen much more quickly than traditional sports did. That has happened over, 100 years. And for us, we would certainly prefer it to happen more quickly than that. And so when we started our foundation and started giving out grants to high schools, we chose specifically not to give them to people who hadn't started an esports club yet, but to specify that, you have to have already started. You have to do some of it yourself. You have to, create the program, get a teacher to lead it, have a space, have a team, have computers, you have to start it yourself. And then once you do and apply and, finish in the top 10, then we'll send you a grant. I think most of them are between $5,000 and $10,000, to help support it and help you grow it. But we're not here to help every school start a program, but we're here to stimulate the ones who have started, and now want, some extra support. Now, a lot of our support will probably end up being programmatic instead of just pure cash, because at some point we don't have the kind of business model or scale to do that. We are spending our money, hosting events, signing players, paying staff, acquiring ESA, running ESA, things like that. So we have more focused, kind of expenditures on our mind, but we did want to carve out and do it together with our computer sponsor that we wanted to stimulate kind of the neediest schools that had started an esports program, and we wanted to help scale it because I think, obviously it's very important for schools that need resources that they be able to provide programs for their students that really care about a certain area of excellence, and they may not have the resources to make it available to as many of the kids as they would like. And so that was, obviously that's a very important thing for us.
Right. I love that you do that for those schools as well. Now, we were talking about Microsoft a second ago. Now, they are looking to buy Activision and Blizzard, which means they would then own the Call of Duty and Overwatch League, to name a few. Do you know if at all this will cause any ripple effects for the leagues?
Well, I mean, I think the expected close date is maybe, close to 18 months from now. And their offer is, let's say their offer is, I don't know what it is exactly, but it'll say it's $95 a share. And I don't know what the current stock price of Activision Blizzard is. Probably it was 83 when it was announced. So at some point, if the investors, how high the stock, Activision Blizzard stock goes, it's 81.76 right now. So there's a gap between what it is right now and what Microsoft has pledged to buy it at, which I think is 95. And so you can kind of use the gap to be a signal of the marketplace's confidence that the deal will close. There is some kind of anti-merger trend going on in the government and things like that. So I think there's just some question about whether, the government puts conditions on the deal or allows it or whatever. I think using the past couple of years, there's no reason why they wouldn't, but it does create Microsoft as, I think, the third leading company in America in gaming. So it would create, obviously they'd be much more powerful. They're already powerful in gaming. They would become more powerful.
Right. So do you see any effects to the leagues at all, or just do you think they would be status quo?
I would hope there would be positive changes coming from it. I think Activision Blizzard, listen, the scale of the project that Activision Blizzard took on to start up the Call of Duty League and Overwatch League as two global leagues, within a year was an incredibly heavy lift that the, pandemic, did them no favors.
Right.
So I think that there are a lot of people who have been working very hard for many years over there that have done a lot of things that they should be really proud about. I don't really think that that's kind of the way that it's generally looked on from the outside because, and I was the same way when I was young too, but one of the ways, when I was younger that I showed that I cared about something is how much I would complain about it. And,
right.
and that's kind of how esports and gaming is as well, is that, if there's anything wrong, boy, you are going to hear about it. Now, the thing to remember is, like I was saying, is that a lot of it comes from a place of love. If they didn't care, they wouldn't say anything. If they weren't still playing the game for 4 hours a night, they wouldn't say anything. So you have to understand the context of that industry and culture to understand that when you start just seeing a Twitter feed go crazy, railing against something in a game, it's not done by people that don't care. They absolutely care and they want to see it improved. Because ultimately they want to play it more and enjoy it more themselves, but they also want to share it with their friends because ultimately they want to bring more people into the game that they can play and enjoy the game with. And so, I think Microsoft has a lot of respect, for, esports, given the way they've created and supported the Halo, relaunch into esports. And it's hard to argue that once you get to be a, $3 trillion company, that you don't know what you're doing. So I haven't heard anything about changes they would make, but I'm sure that at some point that will be, kind of shared with us. And I hope it's nothing but for the better.
Without a doubt. I mean, like you said, if people aren't complaining about it, that means they just don't care. So yeah. They clearly care, and that's why they're complaining.
Amen.
Yeah. So, just, I guess, kind of wrap it all up. You guys are going to have, this is a new year. You guys are going to have even more announcements coming throughout the year. What can people expect this year from OpTic Gaming and Envy Gaming?
Yeah, I hope we have a lot more big, announcements coming. I think we might have touched a little bit on the LA Content House earlier. And if we didn't, people should go on YouTube and check out the Envy Content House in LA. We have the Botez sisters, who I think we've talked about before. They're chess streamers. They're both young women.
Oh, yeah. Very active online, and they're fantastic.
Yes. And so Alexandria, the older sister, went to Stanford, and I think she's a grandmaster. And her younger sister, the younger sister, Andrea. And she's also a very salty, very good chess player, which comes as some surprise to some people when they don't know who she is. And then we have Justin Inks, a young woman from Ireland that's moved over to America now. So we rented this incredibly nice house in LA, and they're all living there. And we just signed Code Nico, who is a young Asian female streamer, streams both live action and as an avatar of herself. which is very interesting. But the common thread they all have is that to build up an audience on Twitch or YouTube, you have to be funny. You're streaming for hours and you're talking the entire time, and you have to be clever and you have to be funny. And so I watched the intro videos that we put out from the house a couple of days ago, and I'm 55. I'm not in this Target demo, and I'm watching it by myself in my house, and I'm just laughing to myself like an idiot in the dining room. And luckily, none of my kids or anything came in and asked me what I was doing, because it's a little embarrassing that a person my age is laughing at the different jokes that they're saying. But maybe it keeps me young. I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, good comedy translates all age groups, I think. So.
Yeah, well, I can only imagine that if a 14-year-old Steve Martin was growing up in Waco, Texas today, he would be the number one banjo-related streamer on Twitch.
I hope one day you can tell Steve Martin that. I think he would love that.
Yeah, I bet he would. I bet we would have known all the Martin pets in the household intimately if he was a streamer.
Without a doubt. And you might even be opening presents and toys, and you never know.
Yes, right.
So if people want to find out more upcoming news and also buy tickets to the Call of Duty Major 1 tournament happening March 3rd through 6th over at Esports of Arlington, how can they do so?
Well, if you just, search for OpTic Texas Major, it'll take you to the right spot. And so anyway, it'll be a really great event. And if you have someone kind of in your life that likes playing Call of Duty and they've never been to a competitive professional match, I think it would be a revelation to them. Weekend passes, which are 4 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, are $79. But we will open up individual day tickets a little closer to the event. I think we're going to price those at $25 or $30 per day. The days last about 6-7 hours because there's multiple matches in this kind of a NCAA basketball bracket type setup. And it's really, really intense action. I would say that the thing that surprised me the most about going to these events versus traditional sports events is that they go so much faster and they're so much more intense. There's so much more action because you're not limited by real physical things like you are in traditional American sports, right? Like football can only be played so fast and it's so violent that they can't play for 8 hours, right? It can't just be massive hit after massive hit for 8 hours. Well, in these gaming tournaments, it's the intensity is constant at a high level, great action. The fans really get into it. The players really respond when big things happen, which is kind of funny because they have headsets on and stand up behind their computer and, gyrate wildly. And it's really incredibly fun, but it's, obviously meant for a group that understands the game and is kind of young and likes, and likes that sort of intense action for a long time.
Right.
So if you haven't seen your grandmother in a while, probably not the event to bring her to.
No, she might enjoy it, but she also may not understand what's going on either. But
yeah. Although Call of Duty has been around for 15 years, so maybe she picked it up for her 59th birthday and she's just now rounding into form. We don't know. We don't want to judge.
That's true. I mean, I don't play online, but I'm sure there's a lot of grandmas on there just absolutely murdering it. So, yeah.
And talking trash the whole time. They're so toxic.
That's what the fun part is. Yeah. Well, Geoff, thank you so much. Again, our second 5-time guest. We look forward to doing this again in person.
Great. All right. We'll see you.
That's Mo number 2.
Oh, that's Mo number 2.
Hi,
I'm John. I'm John.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, so me and him, we started all this together.
Okay.
He worked at a pizza place, delivery driver.
Ah, okay.
I worked at Jimmy John's as a delivery driver.
Very nice. Freaky Fast.
Freaky Fast deliveries. Yeah. So we started, I mean, like anyone would start.
Right.
We saved up money. And then we decided to start our own business. We started with Hookah Lounge in Frisco.
Okay.
After that, I mean, it took us about 3 years to get that good, making money and generating money for us to actually open it up another place.
Right.
And so we decided to open up this place here because our landlord in Frisco is the same landlord here. So he's like, and it's really hard to find a landlord that would give you a spot to do a smoke shop.
It's true. Yeah. Because there's this weird thought process, like you're just gonna get degenerates coming in here and like
that's what they think,
people and all kinds
and
of other
it's
stuff.
actually changing because I mean everyone smokes the
vape is genuinely like the most popular thing. Like actual old school cigarettes, like physical, like are becoming a thing in the past.
Yeah, and then you have the degenerates don't actually come in for that stuff.
Yeah,
they don't. I mean, because it's so expensive.
Right.
They actually come in for the $1 cigars,
right.
That kind of stuff. So.
Oh yeah, the Black and Mild and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean, we're focused on that stuff, on the expensive stuff, not on the. I mean, we just got the cigars, the cigarillos, and all that kind of stuff just to get people in.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Because while they're in here, they see other stuff, and it just makes sense.
That's true.
So, where did the name Vape Cave Smoking Stuff come from?
That's all him.
That's all.
Honestly, I was on a plane. I think I forgot where I was going. It was over the summer. I think I was going to Hawaii, and then we were talking about going to see caves and stuff. And all of a sudden, I was like, okay. It all came to my head. Right. I was like, okay, so smoke shop, Vape Cave. No one has the name Vape Cave in Texas.
I was going to say, I haven't heard of Vape Cave.
Yeah, we trademarked it and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it just, Vape Cave. So it's just like, it goes together. You know what I mean? So that's where it started. And over the summer, I think me and him, we talked about it. And we started looking around. And then just one day I was like, hey, let's talk to our landlord and see if he has anything, because he's like one of the only people that will give us a smoke shop.
Right.
So he had this spot, and he had it refurbished, and he fixed it all up.
Right, because this strip had gotten kind of a new coat of paint, and it looks completely different. Like, so this shop, or the Salada next to you, they used to be like a XL, like big and tall suit guys. And then you had like a Palm Beach Tan above y'all and some other stuff, and everything's becoming new now. So like my girlfriend just became the head instructor over here at Club Pilates.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's why I pulled in, I dropped her off the other day, and I was like, what the hell is Vape Cave? Like, I'm going to check this out, and I saw y'all on Instagram, and that's why I messaged you. And so, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you also got the name out there, too, because a lot of, so I like Hong Kong Cafe. They're great. From what I heard, they're not going to renew the release there.
Nope.
So that's why their name's not on the building.
So was the liquor place.
Yeah. Oh, liquor place didn't stay in there either. Okay.
Yeah, it's just because, I mean, do you know why they're not going to renew it?
No.
It's because when our landlord came in, he bought the place, he fixed it all up.
Right.
He raised the.
Makes sense. Well, he's got to pay for all the refurbishments.
Yeah, he has to pay for all that, and then some people
sense.
didn't like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they could find another strip that it fits better for them. So.
Yeah, that's true. So,
what kind of selection do y'all have here? Because I mean, it's not just
we're-
vapes. You guys kind of have a bunch.
Yeah,
of stuff.
we're. I mean, we have a. I mean, I don't think we're missing anything when it comes to like smoking.
Well, right now we are missing cigars and cigarettes.
Oh, that's the only thing we are missing.
Cigars are very. So I smoke cigars a little bit, but not a lot. But I know that market is very big, and there's a lot of people who spend a lot of money on cigars. Yeah.
Yes, so we're actually
That's
working
on the
on
way.
that.
Okay.
Cigars are on the way.
Very nice.
But that's the only thing we're missing. I mean, we have everything from hookah to water pipes.
Right, water pipes.
And,
yeah, that's the proper terminology. Without getting in
They
trouble.
just legalized Delta 8 again.
They did.
And so,
Which is so. I mean, I'm on the side of just make it all legal. Not everything, but make just weed legal. It just makes sense. It's like medicinally, it helps so many people.
Oh yeah.
And like that right there is completely counteracts all the quote unquote bad that they think is on the other side. Like it medicinally does so much good things for you. And now that we're seeing people like LeBron James invest in it because you can break down the cannabinoids to where it's good for rehabilitation, mental health, all this other stuff.
Yeah, all your soreness. I mean, they do the wax and stuff. And then they
the
have,
lotions, all kinds of stuff.
That helps with all your body parts.
Right.
Actually, yeah.
And then some people who have cancer also, it's good because they'll actually want to eat.
Yep.
Because a lot of times it just cancels out all that.
Yeah, and then you have Texas, which...
Texas has a lot of backwards laws, and even their liquor laws they can't get right. So I sell wine during the day, so like I know how bad like the THC can just not make any sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, it's weird that it's not legal in Texas because I mean Texas wants to make that money, and I know
exactly. It's green, money's green. It just makes sense that they would.
It's just there's I don't know what's holding them back, but I think eventually they're going to legalize it.
Right. I mean, if they want to dip your toe medicinally, figure everything out, get all the kinks out of the way, then go recreational.
Yeah, and you have all these people that are going to jail because of it.
Well, that's a lot of the reason why it became illegal in the first place, which is unfortunate. But it makes no sense that we're bordered by every state that's medicinal, and I'm like, come on.
I have friends in Oklahoma that are that bought about 20 acres, and they're actually growing it.
Yeah, well, in Colorado, they pay you to grow it. Like, you can have, I think, 2 different crops, and then you grow it, and they pay you, and then you're good.
Yep.
But, yeah, there's a lot of people buying land in Oklahoma just to start growing, because, I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If you know already how to grow it, like, a lot of people just grow in their backyard as it is,
Yep.
Why not buy some acreage and then start doing
That's
it,
true.
and then selling it to the state?
That's very true.
Yeah. But, whatever. But, speaking of Delta 8, and which other CBD's products do y'all have? So you'll have like the lotions, the gummies, the...
We have, I mean, pet CBD.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
This
we
is
have,
good.
What are we missing from the CBDs?
I have bath bombs.
We have bath bombs, CBD
I
bath
heard
bombs.
about those, yeah.
Yeah, some dietary supplement oils are.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have gummies, we have, I don't think we're missing anything. If we are, usually when a customer comes in
Right.
and he asks for something, we don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
The next day, me and him drive down to our wholesalers and we just buy whatever
That's
our
smart.
customer asks for. So
Yeah.
that's what we're doing, just to get people in, get people to actually, to get known, word of mouth and all that kind of stuff. So
Of course.
that's what we're working on right now. So we're here almost every day just for the people that come in and ask for different things. We can't advertise on Instagram or Facebook. You probably know that.
I haven't heard that, really.
Yeah.
We can advertise, they just can't promote our posts.
We can't.
because
Yeah, we
it's
can't actually
tobacco.
promote.
So
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, is that the same way, like, tobacco can't technically, like, I guess years ago they said they can't sponsor, like, race cars and all this other stuff because
Yes.
it's...
Same thing.
Okay, it's the same thing.
Yeah, and they can
Now,
do
what if you go the CBD route about it?
same.
I mean, I guess that'd be even worse
Yeah,
because...
Google will not let you do it. Instagram, Facebook, you can't sponsor anything. So it's actually hard to get our name out there.
I was going to say that.
It happened with our hookah lounge.
Right,
And we didn't know that in the beginning.
right.
had a budget for it and everything.
Yeah, we set up a budget and everything for advertisement, and then I go into Instagram, try to promote it.
Yeah.
Next day, you're not allowed to promote anything that has to do with smoking, alcohol, and there was one more thing.
Alcohol, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I emailed them. They were like, email if you don't think that, not allowing you to promote is right. And then I emailed them for a while, and they said that, alcohol and tobacco and everything like that.
Interesting.
That sort. But then the other day I see like an advertisement for Budweiser, and it's just like,
Yeah,
exactly.
There's a loophole. There's some kind of a loophole.
There's
Yeah, it's
something
called
you can do.
it's under the table cash is what that is.
Exactly. That's the loophole.
Yeah, it's, us small guys cannot do it.
That's right. Okay. Now, I was trying to think a way around that. What about TikTok? I mean, we're not on it, but I know.
I'm not
obviously-
on it.
Yeah,
I don't know anything
Okay.
about
What
it.
about TikTok?
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
we don't. See, the thing with TikTok is, if I download it on my phone,
Right.
it's gonna take up most of my day. It's like because I know so many people that are always on TikTok just going through it because it's like addicting or something.
I just feel TikTok's like a younger generation thing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, so is vaping though, really, for the most part.
Right.
Yeah, and then I mean that's so CBD is kind of that way where there are people that want regular CBD, but like almost all the younger kids like they want that Delta 8. Mm-hmm. Which so do y'all also offer Delta 10 as well?
Yes.
Okay.
We got a couple of products,
We have Delta 10, Delta 9.
Okay. Because I was gonna say people there is that once I think people say Delta 10 or Delta 8 is like the indica to sativa. Like one is kind of a calming one, and then one
Delta 8 is the calming one.
Okay, there it is.
The Delta 10 is the sativa.
Gotcha. Okay, so that kind of gives you a little more energy and a little more.
Yeah. Yep. So we have Delta 9, Delta 10, Delta 8. We have the gummies, disposables, cartridges, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then what else do we have? Detox, all that.
Oh, that's
kind
right.
of stuff.
Yeah, detox stuff.
We have the detox stuff. We have.
I mean, his first year's coming up. People are going to start kicking bad habits for about a month or two. And then, might start off with the detox.
Yep. And then we have like all the incense and stuff. Just to,
yeah. Right in the middle of the store, you guys have a beautiful incense display.
Yeah, we have that just to bring in more customers.
Right.
And most of the stuff we have in the store is just for show.
Right.
You can say that because I mean our top sellers are the disposable vapes, the mods, the juice, the e-liquid,
right,
and then the cigars.
Yeah.
Yeah. For right now, those are our top sellers. Yeah, cigarillos, that stuff. What else? Let me look around.
We have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we have batteries and stuff for the cartridges.
Right, so you swap them out and stuff.
Yeah, people use that stuff.
Now, do y'all offer any specials to people, or not yet?
Right now,
we
so for every person that signs up on our system, they'll get 10% off the
Very
first
cool.
purchase.
Okay.
And then we are trying to do a grand opening.
Oh, okay.
So for our we haven't decided on the deal yet.
Gotcha.
But it's going to be more than 10%.
Right.
And it's going to be like, there's going to be some free stuff.
Awesome.
For a whole week, but we have not decided on a date for that.
Gotcha. But say as of recording time, right now you're still soft open, so.
Yeah, right now soft open. I think it's going to be in the middle of December.
Okay.
Is when our grand opening is going to be. So we'll actually try and advertise that.
Right.
And the city gave us 14 days to do our grand opening. So.
Right, so you can have the balloon out in front and stuff. Yeah, I've heard after that, code enforcement somehow comes out and say you can't have a giant gorilla or a balloon or something. It's like, okay.
Yeah, we did not know that at first.
Yeah, I had heard that years ago with I think when I worked at Eckerd or something like that.
Okay.
With that, obviously that was that long ago. That didn't exist anymore. They were like they re-grand opening and they had the balloon, and then somebody called on them because the balloon was out there too long, and I'm like, I didn't realize that was a thing that you could get in trouble for. But here we are. Now, you guys were talking about having a grand opening sometime in the middle of December. Do you guys have any other events that you guys plan on doing probably in 2022?
So 2022 is right now we're looking at a new location.
Okay.
Frisco.
Right.
And I think as soon as we open the second location and we put this one, or we're not actually going to put this one on autopilot, we're just going to, I think we might have deals like of one day out of every month.
Okay.
Just to push sales.
Right.
So we're still looking at that. We're just trying to see right now what we're selling, what we're not selling.
Right. Well, I mean,
what people want.
Every city and every market's going to be different too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then we'll probably have a deal a month. Mm-hmm. Some kind of a deal. We're still working on that. But we're gonna have Alex. He's running the place right now.
Okay.
While we look for the next location.
Right.
But yeah, I think a deal a month would work with us. But for right now, we're just trying to figure out what people want. What do we need to add?
Right.
Just for everyone to be
like a market research type of situation.
Yeah, and I know we have a lot of competition here.
Yeah, this city has quite a bit of vape shops and smoke shops.
So we're trying to lower our prices.
Yeah.
And try to bring in customers.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I mean, you guys are, I believe, the only ones in this part of from here to Arbrook for sure.
Yep.
Now, I want to say Mayfield has that smoke shop right on the corner of Cooper, but
yes, 3D Smoke Shop. I think up the street. Yeah, there's that. I think that's our closest competition, and then there's another one a bit further, I think.
Okay. Have you seen this guy dancing out in the intersection? Usually daily?
Yeah, that's Jalen.
Jalen, that's right.
He holds our sign.
Oh, does he? Okay,
Yes.
good. I was going to say, he
holds our sign.
He's always looking for it.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's here. I mean, he is actually dancing out there
every day.
5 days a week.
Oh, is it only 5 days now?
For us.
For you guys.
For us, 5 days a week from 10 to 2.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's helping.
We talked to him, and he's like an Arlington institution at this point, so we try to help him get a little more.
Yep.
Any extra money we can get Jalen's way, we're going to do it.
No,
he's got his own merchandise, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shirts. I saw him the other day. He's trying to get socks and hoodies and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Just all the stuff with his face on it.
Yeah, he's like, he has good vibes. He's like positive about everything. I mean, he doesn't talk bad about anyone.
No.
Yeah, he's a really good guy.
Yeah, he's a really good kid. Just graduated high school. So much energy.
Yeah, and I told him.
I don't know how his neck does it.
I have no idea how
First
he
time I
does
saw him, I was like, I would not do this.
No.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
It hurts my neck just watching. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm trying to help him out.
Yeah.
I told him, I mean, I would make him shirts with his brand in the front and then my brand on the back.
I like that.
Just to help him out with his branding.
Yeah. His Jalen Jams on Instagram. So yeah.
Jalen Wanna Jam.
Yeah, that's it. Jalen Wanna Jam.
Jalen Wanna Jam.
Love it. So we have a segment on the show called Tournament of Toppings where we try to find the best pizza place in Arlington. You guys are new to Arlington, but you guys, is there a pizza place in Frisco or that area that you guys like a lot?
Zio
L's in Plano.
Okay.
Or, there's a Zio L's in Plano, and there's a Zio L's in Dallas, and Zio L's in Addison.
Okay.
That's our favorite pizza place. Yeah. They have really good pizza.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
You should go try it.
I will. I'll take a trip out there.
Yeah, it's really good. It's on Dallas Tollway, so
okay.
You should try it. You'll see.
Yeah. So Dallas Tollway, it's funny, we were talking about Prosper before. I didn't think about where the Dallas Tollway ended until I had to go to Prosper one time. I was like, oh, this is where it ends, right here.
And that's like new.
Yeah, and they're still trying to build even further. So I was like, oh, okay, never mind. This is gonna go away.
We live up there actually.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, we drive down here.
That's a haul
on a daily. 50 minutes down here, 50 minutes back.
If there's no traffic.
If there's no traffic.
Yeah. My girlfriend just moved in with me, but she was in Flower Mound before, and that drive wasn't that fun either.
Oh yeah.
Depending on the day, I'm driving over an hour just to go up there. Yeah, it was worth it, but still. So if people want to find out more about y'all and come visit y'all, how do they do so?
Through Instagram, we're working on that.
Mm-hmm.
We have someone working on our advertisement platform, so Facebook, Instagram, not Twitter, but I think we do. Right now that you mentioned it, I want to mention it to our marketing guy. What's it called? I forgot what it was
TikTok?
called. TikTok.
There you go.
TikTok. Yeah. So we want to try and get on TikTok.
Yeah, about to say because you guys can show off all the stuff you guys have in the shop easily.
Yep.
And then also kind of just describe it to people. Like, let's say, you've never smoked a hookah. Here's all the pieces, which to buy. And yeah.
And then we're really good at hookah stuff because we actually ran our hookah lounge for about 2 years straight, no day off.
Wow.
Yeah, that's when we first started, and I mean, our budget was really, really tight.
Yeah.
And so, just to get on our feet, we actually worked there every single day for 2 years to get that store running.
Makes sense.
And then eventually we had a manager. Alex was the manager up there. And then we had 3 employees, and then as it got busier and busier, we started hiring more people.
That's good.
And then eventually we were like, okay, just put that on autopilot. Let's go do another thing. Because, I mean, you always want to find something else to do.
Of course. You
can't rely on just that thing,
Yes.
especially when it comes to like the smoking part of it.
Right.
Because you never know when they're going to ban it.
Well, also with COVID, I'm sure that was quite an issue as well. So
honestly, COVID,
our
business was COVID proof. Like we made so much money during.
Oh, I guess because it's only your group smoking out of that one hookah, so it's not like you're sharing it with a bunch of random people.
Well, yes, but then again, we offer disposable hoses.
So smart. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have AC system, a ventilation system that cost us a fortune.
Yeah.
Where we have 100% clean air at all times.
Wow.
It's like it's our whole HVAC system runs on a computer.
Yeah.
So to measure the air inside and then let the air out. And, so that was one of the advantages we had during. I mean, we worked there every single day during COVID, and thank God, knock on wood, we didn't get COVID even though that was the worst place to go during COVID.
Right.
But yeah, I think during COVID was when we made the most money out of since we opened, actually.
Yeah.
Because people wanted to get out. They didn't.
That is the thing, yeah.
And then we were open.
Right. And especially if you're advertising, you have 100% clean air.
Yep.
Everyone knew that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, I know other places closed because their employees didn't want to work during COVID.
Of course.
But since us, the owners, were working there,
right,
it's our business, so
yeah, you're gonna be there.
We're running it.
Yep.
We're there every single day.
Now, do y'all have a favorite hookah flavor?
Double apple.
Double apple. Okay.
That has to be it for me.
Double apple. Honestly, mine was double apple, but after we opened up the hookah lounges and I tried all these different flavors, right now I do not have a favorite.
Oh, okay.
I do not have a favorite.
You're just open to all of them.
Yeah, every single day we'd mix up something new and we'd smoke it.
That's awesome.
And we'd add it to our menu.
Yeah, as you should. You're just trying different things, so that's perfect.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys so much. Everybody come out to the Vape Cave. This is Pleasant Ridge and Cooper, so right across from the mall. So look for Jalen. He's going to guide you the way.
All right, thank you so much to Geoff and Mo. Always great to hear about things going on in our city, especially things that you may not know about, like esports. I am not in the know as much as I should be, even though we have a beautiful arena right down the street from my house. And always cool to hear about new businesses in Arlington. But while you're learning about new businesses,
make sure to go out every first Sunday at 6 p.m. Dr. Jekyll's hosts Arlington Open Mic.
Every Monday night, also at Dr. Jekyll's, is trivia night as well at 7 p.m.
And then every Tuesday night from 8 to midnight, Blitz Lounge is having their karaoke night.
And this one is pretty cool. Open mic poetry night every second Tuesday at Create Arlington. Wonderful spot.
Create Arlington does so many great things. Check out their Instagram for all the things that they do. We can't list everything, otherwise it would just be the Create Arlington show.
That's all we'd be doing.
Every Wednesday over at Jambo's Barbecue, though, you can catch UTA Jazz Night from 5:30 to 7:30.
After you got the jazz and the meat sweats, you can go to Division Brewing. Every Wednesday, their trivia night is from 7 to 9 p.m.
And then One Love Lounge is hosting the Artist Love Night, a.k.a. their open mic night, every Thursday starting at 8 p.m.
So, while you're out there doing all that stuff and so much more, because there's so much more to do in this city, and as spring comes alive, as the plants come alive, the city will come alive with events. Remember to
make sure to go out and eat local, drink local, and
go rediscover your city.
Tag us and send those pictures over to us on Facebook, Arlington Citizen Media, Twitter, ATX Citizen Media. Tag us on Instagram, Arlington Citizen Media, and send those pictures the old-fashioned way. Email arlingtoncitizenmedia@gmail.com. Also go to our website, www.arlingtoncitizenmedia.com. Don't forget to subscribe and give those 5-star reviews of the Downtown at Apple Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and also hit us on SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and YouTube.